Hi guys! I am just gonna share this and wait for an audience build first, so just bear with me. I hope you've had an amazing weekend up to now. I went out for some breakfast, did some mindset work, usual really, the usual stuff. Let's have a look. Okay, I'm going to share this and then I'm going to show you some amazing things. So basically I have been doing so much mindset work. I've been working with clients this week, and this week I've come to realise that one of the biggest things that people are doing is struggling with essentially is their oh gosh, this is not very good, is it? It's not working too well. Okay, right. One of the biggest things that I know people are struggling with, if you will, is their own limiting beliefs, and I know this happens quite a lot, and it's something that is quite common. A lot of people go through this, but I use different techniques depending on the goal that person has, whether it's in business, whether it's relationships, whether it is actually a goal, or whether it's just a confidence thing. So many different things. But I wanted to give you something to reframe any thoughts that you've got that's really simple, really easy to do. You can do it through writing, you can do it through all sorts of different things. But I wanted to give you this really powerful tool because it will absolutely help you to... Okay, don't know what happened then. Apparently I have a very bad connection. So if it goes off, then I'm very sorry about that. I don't know why it's doing that actually. Odd. Okay, so first of all, a lot of the time, and I find this a lot, you hear people say quite a bit, do you have that voice in your head that tells you that you can't do this, or you're not good enough, or X, Y, Z, and all those different things. And I was actually one of those people that would sit there and be like, no, I don't have that voice in my head that talks to myself like that. And I think it's because it's disguised in different ways. I know a lot of the time when I've spoken to people and I've asked them, they've all been quite similar and said, no, that's not actually how I felt either. So it could be disguised in all sorts of different ways, the way you're speaking with yourself and the thoughts that you're having. So it could just be so vague and be things like, oh, I can't do that, or that's not me, or all those different ways of being. So that could be one way that you're thinking, but again, it's just those thoughts are stopping you from thinking and acting and doing things that you want to be doing. So the first thing, I haven't written it down because I'm trying to make it really simplified, it's hard to kind of say in a very vague way without, how do I put it? I don't know how to put it. It's hard to say in a really vague way, but one of the best ways to do it is first of all establish a goal that you want to have. So what is it that you want to do that this limiting belief, that this thing in your head is stopping you? So you need to find out what it is that you want to do and have a really clear vision on that first, because that's going to be half of the battle. It's knowing exactly where it is. And there's loads of different ways that you can reframe these thoughts. I figured that every time I move it goes lighter and darker. It's quite off-putting. So first of all, you need to establish that goal. Establish what it is that you really want. Feel it, own it, want it, all those things. And the second thing you need to do for yourself is really acknowledge that limiting belief and feel it and go, okay, this is what I'm feeling right now, and then challenge it. So whatever it is, so hypothetically speaking, I'll give you something for just to think about. It could be you want to get a new client, or you want to get a promotion, or whatever it is with work, or anything that you want to have a really good relationship. You have to first think about that limiting belief and overcome it, and then challenge it. So why are you feeling like that? And is there really any reason to feel like that? Because your brain is not wired to strive forward. The reason that you have your brain is for survival. So it's not going to look for the best things. It's not going to look for best case scenarios. It looks for worst case scenarios, negative scenarios, because it's there simply for survival. That's all it's for. So it's going to find out all the bad things so you can go, okay, there's a problem there, and then you act in a state of survival and not acting in a state of, you know, of gratitude and going forward. And that's one thing I'll touch on later on, is how gratitude and that thought process will really shift it. So first of all, challenge that belief. Really question why you're thinking it. Like, what reason have you got to believe that you can't do it? Because your past doesn't define you today, and you know, it doesn't define a fact. It's not a fact, essentially. It doesn't mean it's true just because it happened before. Experiences don't mean that it's going to happen again. Like, you had really bad relationships before, but it doesn't mean you're not going to be married, or you're not going to find the most amazing person in the world. So really challenge whatever you are thinking and find out why you're thinking like that. So just, you know, it's sort of had that conversation in your head and go, okay, well, why am I thinking this way? Like, what reason have I got to be like this? What reason am I thinking that I can't do it, or I'm not good enough, or I haven't got the confidence, or I haven't got all the resources essentially to do what I want to do? And you'll find that it is just resources, the reasons. You might not have the money, the time, or whatever. So that's something, that those challenging beliefs that you've got, you need to challenge. Why can't you overcome this situation? Why can't you overcome this thing? And that will then help you to start to reshift and reanalyze the way you're looking at this problem, essentially. Because it's not a problem, it's just, like I said, your brain is there to help you survive, and that is it. It's a survival mechanism, essentially. So what you have to do is find pieces of evidence. I'm jumping ahead a little bit here, for reasons why. I've got a nightmare dog. Lie down, Alfie. You've got to find reasons why that isn't true. So first of all, whatever, say I can't run 5k, I'm going to use that as a really basic example. You know, I can't run 5k. Well, what reasons are you thinking that? Have you ever tried before? Have you never ever done it? Have you never run before? Do you not have legs? Do you know, like, what reason do you think you can't run 5k? So can you walk? You know, there's so many different things, and it's just, honestly, it's just in your head a lot of the time. So you reframe it and you think to yourself, like, okay, reasons why I can do it. So reshift it, reword it in your head and go, I can do this for X, Y, Z. So you find that reason first, that limiting belief is wrong. And then the next thing to do is, and you've challenged that limiting belief, the next thing to do is reframe it and think of it in a different way. Because when you think about it in a different way, you'll start to change perspective on whether you can or can't do it. So essentially, that's one of the key things, really, is to think differently. So you go, okay, I can run 5k, and then, because it seems like something that's so big that you can't achieve, and I don't know, you know, for some people, I can't, you know, I'm not the best runner, I'm not very good at cardio, essentially, but 5k could be something that people could find as a really big goal. So then what I want you to do is find pieces of evidence in your life as to where you have achieved a really big goal that you thought you couldn't do. So whether that's in work, relationships, anything really, essentially, find a piece of evidence in your head, just think about it, why you can achieve a goal that you wanted to achieve. So, and it doesn't have to be related to fitness if it's a fitness thing, you know, if this 5k example, it doesn't have to be related to running the 5k, it could be related to any area of your life, but it really helps you to reframe and go, okay, I am actually done a lot more, and you'll think about things that you didn't even realize were an achievement, and you'll start seeing things as an achievement, and that will reframe whatever limiting belief you've got in your head. And I know this is I'm trying to make this as simple as possible, because it's a really powerful NLP technique that most coaches use, that a lot of, you know, people that are trying to help and in the personal development industry use. It's a really clever way of doing it, because it helps people, and it's not something that, you know, coaches would really sit there and say to you, this is what we do, but it is what we do, and this is how we do things. So I'm going to show you, so because I think it'd be so valuable to be able to know it yourself. So even, you know, if you can take a little bit away from this and implement it into your own thinking, you won't need a coach to do it. You need a coach to go much deeper, to really push forward with it. But this is something that's really basic that you could use on your own on a day-to-day basis. So yeah, so essentially you've got this goal, you've got a limiting belief that's stopping it, you challenge that belief, find out why you're thinking like that, and then you'll probably find out there's not really a big reason. But just, even if you could write it down, just write down like why you think you can't achieve it. So you can look at it on paper and you'll sit there and go, this is actually a massive load of shit that I don't believe anymore. And then reframe it, so find reasons why you can achieve what it is you want to achieve. and then you find pieces of evidence for that. So whether that's in this area, that area of your life that you're trying to get the goal in, or whether it's in another area of your life, you're then trying to achieve it then. So you're reframing things in your head. And now one of the biggest key things in the world here, and I promise you this will be the most invaluable thing ever, is when you're in that state where you've reframed a thought, is that's when you need to take the action. Before your mind has got any time to challenge that, that is at that point where you need to take the action. So you've reframed it, go and do it whilst you're in that state of mind, whilst it's here. Because otherwise, life will happen, things will happen. You might get a text or a phone call you weren't expecting, or you might see something online that you didn't want to see, and you've reshifted everything. So when you're in that state of mind is the best time to go ahead and take the action, what it is you want to take. And what that does again is reinforce, because you've set yourself up for success in your mind, and then you've taken action on it, and you're going to do well in that action because of your state of mind, you're going to regain that confidence again, and that confidence will give you and be the basis of your success and you going to the next level. Simply, and it's only because that confidence and that self-worth that you've reinforced in yourself will propel you. And also you can use that as a piece of evidence next time. Next time that thought goes into your head, it's anchored to actually, this is actually the outcome of what happened when I thought of this last time. So you're anchoring it. And that, again, will really, really shift what you're doing. And that's the biggest part of it, is taking action in that state of mind. So, yeah, that's basically what it is. And I know it could be a little bit complicated, and it could sound like it's a little bit, I don't know how to explain it. I can understand what if it doesn't make a lot of sense right now, because I try to make it as simple as possible, but I know that it can be quite hard to challenge yourself to do that, because what you're doing is challenging your own thoughts, and that's not something you're wired to do. You know, you spend years of your life going to school, college, university, or whatever, and you really don't know how to do some of the most important things, like control your thoughts. You get taught, you don't even get taught how to control your finances most of the time, but you know, really getting taught how to control this will really, really help it, and reframing them and rethinking them in a different way will really, really help you to stop thinking in that way. But yeah, that's it. That's all I wanted to kind of share with you today. If there's any questions on that, give me a shout. As always, just drop me a line on Facebook, and I'm always happy to help with anything that you've got. And yeah, enjoy your weekend, have an amazing Saturday, and really, really go and challenge any thoughts that you've got today, because you know, most people are working Monday to Friday 9 till 5 or 9 till 6 or 8 till 6 or whatever it is, but you don't, you know, when you've got these 2 days off or whatever, you've got time off, when you've got those time, really use them to, you know, they always say work hard but work on yourself even harder, work a lot but work more on yourself. So really make sure that you're going and trying to do that, because that will really help you in so many ways to do so many amazing things. Okay, and whatever challenges you're facing in the current situation, try to use these things to help you shift as well, and shift those thoughts, because it will really help in a lot of ways. But I hope you have an amazing weekend, and any questions, give me a shout, and I will see you all very soon. Bye guys.